Now, one study that was done looked at the diversity measures across 3,000 different companies over the period of 2001 to 2014. And what they found were that those companies that were more diverse across four different dimensions, they had more women and minorities who were CEOs. They had more women who were in charge of profit and loss responsibilities. They also had more supportive employee policies that helped to support all different types of diverse employees. And also they had programs to hire disabled employees. Those companies that scored highest across these four different diversity measures were more likely to develop more new products. In fact, they had 2 new patents that were issued each year. And what is very important, considering that right now we are going through a global pandemic and we are unsure what impact that will have on markets and companies' financial situation in the future, those companies that were most diverse fared the best in the 2008 financial crisis. And so we want to make sure that we are doing everything we can to be as successful as possible during this difficult time. Now, what's interesting is that those companies who had higher diversity scores actually had a much higher percentage of their revenue that came from what is called innovation revenue. And that means dollars that came into the company based on products that were launched in only the last 3 years. And so it's those companies with the higher diversity scores that had 40% of their innovation revenue was coming in and helping their company, as opposed to if they had less diversity, only 26% was coming from innovation revenue. And finally, we see that it's also good for business overall. One landmark study done by Forbes looked at 600 business decisions across 200 teams, and they found that 87% of the time they were making better business decisions, and that led to 60% better results. Sounds like the kind of results I would assume every single one of you would want to see for your companies. The titles of what many of these companies are looking for now and building in-house in their organizations is called diversity, equity, and inclusion. And if you look here, just as it relates to one of the job sites in the United States, what you will find is that when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion roles, that there are more than 1,035 roles which have been posted in just the last 6 months. This has been an explosion of companies recognizing that they can't only aim to create more diversity and inclusion, they have to put the resources and the investment behind making that happen. And so in many of these companies, they will hire this talent and then they will bring in a number of global experts and consultants who can help them. Now, we did some original research with Japanese business leaders in the ad tech world. And what we found was that while female Japanese business leaders had said that their companies were very inclusive, of those Japanese leaders who were not women, we found that only 30% of male Japanese ad tech leaders are saying that their companies are very inclusive. That means that there is a great opportunity for us to spend the time that we have together focused on how we can help your team to be more fearless. So let's get started here. First and foremost, I want you to focus on measuring what you treasure. So we like to say that if you don't measure it, then you don't treasure it or value it.